Hey tennis fans, I'm Grace Carter and this is Tennis Now. Maria Sharapova could receive a sentencing in her doping case before Wimbledon. A disciplinary hearing has been scheduled and a ruling could come before the grass court Grand Slam begins in June. That according to International Tennis Federation President Dave Haggerty. Maria has been serving a provisional suspension since March after testing positive for the banned drug meldonium after her Australian Open quarterfinal loss to Serena Williams. Last time we told you that Maria got a major boost to aid her comeback cause when the World Anti-Doping Agency admitted it cannot say with scientific certainty how long meldonium stays in the system. That news, of course, can bolster Sharapova's case. Maria, though, is not alone. Nearly 200 athletes from several different sports have tested positive so far this year for meldonium. The drug was put on the ban list January 1st, so many athletes are expected to argue that they took meldonium before it was banned. However, that defense may not work in Maria's case. The incoming WADA Director General, Olivier Nigli, told the Associated Press that Maria's level of meldonium is not even a question, implying that her levels were just too high to use as a defense. Some Russian officials have said publicly that they expect Sharapova to be reinstated in time for the Rio Olympic Games this summer, so stay tuned for more on that. Moving on. Roger Federer is a coffee drinker, which must help him throughout all the very active schedules he keeps. Even when Roger isn't playing tennis, he is still very busy promoting the game. So, where was Roger this week? Hanging out with his buddy Grigor Dimitrov in Barcelona. The Wilson Pro staff players met with a group of top retailers from around the world in Barcelona, and our friends from Tennis Express were in that group and shared this video. Roger took the stage to talk about Wilson's new 2017 products and to reveal a turning point in his career that came during his junior days, he says, when he briefly contemplated putting his racket down for good.
As a junior, just complete frustration. Like, why am I even doing this? I'm getting so frustrated, so upset, so sad that where is that? Put that Wilson racket right against the wall and will not touch it anymore. No. I need to go practice. I'm going to go hit balls against the wall or the cupboard or the garage door, and you're back into it. So there I had these moments, but never really on the tour, I think, once I was able to make it.
After the Q&A, Roger took some pics with VIPs, including Armik Alaverdian from Tennis Express. The 17-time Grand Slam champ also shared the three-point game plan that he carries in his head as he steps out onto the court. Number 1, make this a good match. Number 2, fight hard. And number 3, remember the tactics and adjust if you have to. Very cool. Now we know what it takes to be like Roger. Hanging out with his two tennis heroes, Roger and Hall of Famer Bjorn Borg, seems to have inspired Grigor Dimitrov. Check out Grigor wearing the weighted vest, sprint the steps, training to resume his climb back up the rankings. Andy Murray trails Novak Djokovic by 1 spot in the world rankings, but they seem worlds apart on the issue of doping. The second-ranked Murray told the Daily Mail that he does suspect some people of doping in tennis. He says he's played against players and thought that they just didn't seem to get tired. Asked if he ever suspected anybody, he says, yep, you hear things. Murray went on to say that he believes Maria Sharapova's suspension is a positive step forward for tennis because if that stuff is happening and you don't hear about it, Andy says he's got a big issue with it because it's like the sport is covering up for some of the big stars. If someone is going through that process, the tennis world should let people know. But Novak Djokovic is on the other side of the argument. After collecting his second straight Laureus World Sportsman of the Year award and his third overall, Nole shot down suggestions that tennis has a doping issue.
Certain, obviously media and trying to create the stories and so forth, but as long as there's no proofs that somebody is using doping or so forth, sport is clean and we'll keep it that way.
Now, that comment prompted some backlash from the Washington Post saying that Novak is sounding eerily like disgraced cyclist Lance Armstrong, who also claimed that doping allegations were a media creation in his sport. That is, until, of course, Armstrong admitted guilt to numerous doping violations. Now, let's be clear. No one has accused Novak of doping. Andy Murray did not name any names in his interview with the Daily Mail. However, Murray's comments clearly struck a chord with Boris Becker, Nole's coach, who called the Scot out of order for alleging that doping exists. Becker says that Murray's comments are reckless and dangerous. He says there's been rumors about Rafa Nadal over the years. There have been, to a lesser degree, rumors about Novak. Becker told the media in Berlin that he finds it incredibly disrespectful to both players. They're legends. They are super athletes. They live and breathe tennis. He says he would find it equally disrespectful to Andy if somebody claimed that he only won Wimbledon because he took a pill. Becker says that's wrong and it shouldn't be allowed. Other Hall of Famers, including Chris Evert, say it's naive to believe that doping doesn't go on in tennis, and all sports for that matter. She says she thinks you'd have to have your head in the sand if you didn't at least assume in every professional sport there might be some sort of PED being used. Everett went on to say that she knew players on the women's tour who were using performance-enhancing drugs during her career, but they didn't have any testing. She says it happens in every professional sport. That's the news for now. I'm Grace Carter. See you next time here on Tennis Now.